Hey everyone, hope you're well. I know this video is not going to be for everybody, but I wanted to come on here and talk about some wrestling. So obviously we had WrestleMania I've already spoken about, and then we had the Raw after Mania. Honestly, one of the worst Raws I've ever seen. We had we had literally we had literally about half an hour of wrestling in a 3 hour show. It was just really boring, and it really felt like I wasted my time. But obviously, then we had the main event segment where Brock Lesnar turned on Cody Rhodes because earlier in the night, Cody and Roman had a confrontation in the ring, and basically they set up a tag team match between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes and the mystery partner, and that mystery partner turned out to be Brock Lesnar. But even but before the match even began, Brock Lesnar turned on Cody Rhodes, and it went, "Hello, hello, mate. I hope you're well." So Brock Lesnar turned on Cody Rhodes, and then and then Brock and then Brock Lesnar put a beat down on Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes really sold the beat down excellently. The one thing I will say, I think this, I think this, I think this, I think this would have worked a lot better if Cody Rhodes was the cha- was the champion. Because obviously, as, as they established in the opening segment of the night, Brock Lesnar can no longer challenge Roman Reigns for the belt. So I just believe if Cody would have won the belt, he could have done Brock versus Cody for the belt, and that could have been Brock's reasoning for turning on Cody. I don't I don't know what the reason will be why Brock turned on Cody, but knowing WWE, they probably won't even give a reason, to be honest. They'll probably just say Brock Lesnar wanted to beat up Cody, and that'll probably be the most reasoning the most reasoning that we're gonna get. Um, there was a there was a couple of other things I liked on the that I liked on Raw. I liked the Sammy and Kevin Owens versus the Street Profits, but that was a fine match. What it was, but again, it was just way too short. Too much talking. I I I I I felt for a long time that the Raw after Mania hype is really overrated. I understand like in 2012, 2013, 2013 times. I understand the hype back then, but now I don't really understand it because don't forget back then we had no AEW, so if if hardcore fans, if hardcore fans, the only the know what am I trying to say? Like 2012, 2013, like it was only really WWE you could watch. So obviously back then the hardcore fans were more vocal about WWE because there was no other alternative. obviously there was New Japan and things like that. But I'm on about like like Western American pro wrestling companies. There was only really WWE uh, and a distant second TNA or Impact, but it was really just WWE, like to the mainstream, if you know what I mean. So obviously, people were more vocal about WWE because it was the only wrestling a lot of people would watch and that would follow. So they would be more vocal about it back then. But now, because of AEW, if people don't like WWE, they just say, okay, I'll just watch AEW. So when it comes to Raw After Mania, a lot of people don't go because they don't watch WWE anymore. Like the hardcore, hardcore fans. Yeah, I probably will watch SmackDown tonight. So 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 that's why that's why I feel like nowadays the Raw After Mania hype is really overrated. Uh, so so me so moving on to AEW. I think AEW Dynamite this week. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of good moments, and obviously they had the big announcement of AEW coming not only to the UK but being in Wembley. I would love to go to that show, but I would love to go to that show, but I can I pretty much know I won't be able to because it's a long story. But if I was to travel to if I was to travel to London and I stop overnight, it would take a lot of it would take a lot of planning, and I would have to take like two. I would have to take two people with me, and there's a lot of personal stuff that I don't really want to get into here. Not with me, but with other people. That's probably gonna be happening around that time. So I'm probably not gonna be able to go realistically, but I'm gonna try my absolute best to try and get there. Because obviously this is AEW's first UK show, and 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 I really and I hope and I hope this is a big success for them. Because if it is, the more likely to come to the UK and and do like a little tour around some of the smaller cities. Obviously, obviously, if you're not from the UK, Wembley holds about 90,000. If I'm being honest, I don't, I have my doubts whether they will be able to fill it. But if they can get 60,000, or like if they can get 50,000, I think they need to look at that. I think they need to look at that as as an achievement. I would rather somebody goes in there and and over and overshoots rather than rather than rather than shooting too small. if you know what I mean. Like, I would rather AEW go for a big stadium and and not sell it out to have a decent enough crowd than for them to go to a smaller arena and 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 sell out in a couple of minutes. But they would be a lot more fans that would be disappointed, if you know what I mean. Like, I know people are gonna say why they're going that big for their first time in the UK. But to me, I think, as I said, I think if they can get 60,000, if they can get in range between 50,000 and 60,000, I think they can consider that a success. Even 40,000, I wouldn't say that's a bad accomplishment. As I say, I would rather have somebody aim for aim for aim for a hard work, aim for the aim for the fences rather than not even come come up to the plate, if you know what I mean. That came across on rambled, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. So moving on to Dynamite itself, I really enjoyed Dynamite this week. Jay White is now in AEW. Jay White is so cool. He just has that star presence, and he just looked like a star, and he just has that aura of a star. And I'm not gonna lie, when he was when he became leader of the Bullet Club, I was like, I wa- I wa- I wa- I, I was like, okay, I don't think this will work. But I gotta say, I think he was one of their best leaders, one of the best leaders, to be honest. And if it was up to me, I would have him take take back control of the Bullet Club. But it seems like they're gonna do it. They're gonna do AEW Bullet Club, because obviously they've got the Bullet Club in Japan, and that's 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 run by David Finlay. And no offense to David Finlay, but I just don't, I just don't really I just don't really feel anything for him as the leader of Bullet Club, to be honest. And I would love it if they were able to do a storyline where Jay White was able to take back the leadership of the Bullet Club, and because it just the small little thing that I love about Jay White, the way that he talks on the microphone, like even when he's angry, even when he's shouting, he never comes across like he's out of control on the mic. Like, he comes across very well on the microphone, and as I said, as 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 somebody that was not a big fan of Jay White when he was first when he first became when he first became leader of the Bullet Club, I would say he's one of my favourite wrestlers today, to be honest. So, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in AEW. I'm good, thank you. So 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 moving on to other things on Dynamite. My favorite match on Dynamite was Game Hater versus versus Rio. That was that was a really good match, and as I say, it was my match of the night. Obviously, I understand what people are going to say in the main event with with the states involved, and I understand that. But for me, I enjoyed Game Hater versus Rio more, to be honest. Uh, uh, the, the, the MJF, the MJF, the MJF day stuff was brilliant. Uh, MJ, MJF has some gorgeous pipe, has some has some gorgeous pipes on him. MJF can really sing. He should teach Jericho a thing or two. To be honest, obviously I'm not saying MJF is a world class singer, but he's good. Like he's better than what I thought he could be. And when you think about Jericho as a band, he's a lot better than Jericho, in my opinion. And then they obviously had the mayor of Long Island giving him the key to the city, giving him the key to the city. The Long Island crowd hated the mayor, so that was that was funny. They had a they had they had a chant for lower taxes, so that was funny. And and MJF MJF took a shot at his teacher that said he would never be said that he would never be a wrestler, and he basically said, "Fuck, Mrs. Benedict," and the crowd started to chant that, and it was just awesome stuff. I'm not, if I'm being honest, I'm not doing this justice. The, this was great, and then MJF went to do it encore, and then he was attacked by Jungle Boy Jack Perry on the stage, and then Sammy Guevara came out as they were being broken up, and he picked up the belt, because obviously MJF dropped the belt. So Sammy Guevara picked up the belt, posed with the belt, and then we had Sammy Guevara versus Commander. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like this match. Yes, there was a couple of impress, impressive moves that I just felt we we saw we saw a couple. I just felt this match was like very repetitive, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just did not enjoy this match. I wouldn't say it was a I wouldn't say it was a bad match by any means. Hello there. Uh, it was just not for me. And then after the match, Sammy Guevara got on the mic, and he basically said, he basically, I don't know what he was trying to say, to be honest. He said a lot of stuff, but he didn't really say anything of substance. If this was a bit shorter, I think it would have had a better. I think it would have had a better impact. And if I'm being honest, I think they, I think they did it in the in the wrong place. Like if they didn't next week in front of a different crowd, it could have had a better reaction. Because obviously in Long Island, they love MJF because he's our hometown boy. And when somebody's in the ring slagging them off, obviously, obviously all they're gonna do is do that person the whole time. And I just don't think it worked, to be honest. It felt really long for no reason. So, so moving on, we had Ethan Cage versus Hook for the FTW Championship. Matt Hardy cost Ethan Cage the match. Now they're gonna do a rematch on Rampage. It's probably gonna continue the whole Matt Hardy and the firm storyline, and that'll be okay for what it is. Um, if there's any people in the chat that did watch the show, I might be forgetting something. Oh, oh, backstage, Jericho was confronted by Keith Lee. By the way, I love Keith Lee's beard and and his and his. I love Keith Lee's white beard. I think he looks like I think he looks like the best way to say it. I think he looks like a very wise man. The way that he talk, the way the way that the way that he's the way that he talks. I think having a grey having a full grey beard works for him a lot. And I'm really interested in the match next week because I don't think Jericho and Keith have ever wrestled together, so that will be interesting. And and another thing I wanted to say about Keith was I I I I I I, I let me say it to you like this. I think ever since Keith has come into AEW, for me, it just has not connected. Like obviously, I liked his his tag team with Swerve. That was good, but but that ever since that's ended, I I I personally feel like they've been dragging their heels with the Swerve and Keith feud. I understand Keith's Keith's no sorry Swerve's affiliates got hurt, and obviously people get hurt. There's not a lot you can do about that. But at this point, I'm just looking forward to Keith versus Swerve 1-on-1 because this feud has been going on for a while, and and let me know what you think. I think Keith Lee's running AEW so far has been slightly underwhelming. I'm a, I'm a big I'm a big fan of Keith, and obviously I'm not saying I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't do. He can't do any good stuff in the future. Because honestly, I think with the right creative, Keith, Keith Lee could be a world title challenger to to a solid TNT champion. So I'm just hoping with this match with Jericho and probably the match with Swerve that'll come after this. I'm hoping Keith Lee can get some momentum as a character, and I hope they start putting him in better storylines with better with with better and better opponents, if you know what I mean. So yeah. The 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 Blackpool Combat Club. I've got to say, for me, they've been they've been they've been one of the best things in AEW. To be honest, I think Brian Danielson is one of the best wrestlers of all time. Whether he's playing a heel, babyface, it doesn't matter. He can do it all, and he's such a he's such a versatile performer, and I just thought he was great here on the microphone, and I just think that the Blackpool Combat Club could be one that could be one of that could be one of that could be one of the nastiest stables in wrestling in a while. And when I mean nasty, I just mean violent bastards like uh, like if I if I saw if I saw the BCC, if I saw the BCC coming down the road, I would, I would, I would run I would run the opposite direction, and I think Danielson as a de facto leader, I would say is brilliant. Now I've heard some people suggest that maybe they could put Nigel McGuinness in the group. I wouldn't do that personally. I would put Samoa Joe in the group because Samoa Joe, obviously, when the Blackpool Combat Club first started, it was made as a tribute to Regal, and obviously Samoa Joe and Regal got a long history together, going back to 2001, I believe. So yeah, I would love to see Samoa Joe in there, but obviously I don't think Nigel would be a bad choice. But I would prefer to see Joe in there, and I I could see in Wembley the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite in Blood and Guts. To be honest, I think that would be a sick match for Wembley or Anarchy in the Arena or something like that. I think that would be a sick match to do with the Elite and the BCC. I expect, I expect, I expect, I expect Kenny and the Bucks to be back next week. and they'll probably do something with Hangman, and they'll probably do some more storytelling with that. So I'm looking forward to that. And the main event, the Gun Club versus FTR, the AEW tag team titles versus the career of the Revival. In my when they first announced this match, I did suspect FTR was winning because because obviously nobody obviously obviously nobody knew for certain, but I did suspect FTR was already re-signed just by watching the product. To be honest, I think that I think they made it obvious without making it obvious that FTR was re-signed. Because if you're Tony, why would you give them 3 months off when you've only got them for 4 months if they're leaving? That doesn't make much sense to me, but there you go. So so, so even though I already suspected that FTR was going to win, I I I enjoyed the journey that they took me on in this match. I like I like the story. I like the story of the guns the guns doing everything to win the match, like trying to get purposely DQ'd and basically trying to get them trying to trying to win by any means. And I like the fact that that I can't remember the referee's name. Apologies, but I like the fact that the referee did not fall for it either. Like as I said, the guns tried to get themselves purposely purposely disqualified, but the referee was like, "No, I know what you're doing. We're not doing it." And then they tried to cheat by using the belt, and then FTR got the win with a old school finish of the double roll ups, and it was awesome. The crowd went ballistic. Ja- Mark Briscoe Mark Briscoe came out to celebrate with them, and it was just a really good episode of Dynamite. I'm not gonna lie, there was a long time where I became completely completely disinterested in AEW to to be honest. I felt like it was just starting to get really boring. But over these last couple of weeks, I really enjoyed. I think I I would say a lot of that has has had to do with the BCC and the elite storyline. Storyline. Obviously, it's not for everybody. The elite law, but 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 I find it enjoyable. So there you go. And I want the one thing I do want to say, this was the first week where I felt like MJF wasn't wasn't enough to fought, because ever since he'd won the belt, I felt like he'd been playing second fiddle to the elite, to be honest. And unfortunately, it happens to a lot of people when they're given the belt as a character. It feels like they go back into the background, like, and that never makes sense. That never made sense to me. Because as a writer, if you put the back, if you put the belt on them, I would imagine, I would assume you would present the, you would go even further with them. Like, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure whether that makes any sense or what. But as I say, I really enjoyed MJF's MJF's segment this week. So yeah, really good stuff. I hope everybody's doing well. As I said in the beginning, I know this video is not going to be for everybody, and I'm still going to be doing fight stuff. But but as I've said on this channel constantly, this channel's this channel for me, and whatever, and what I like, and obviously I like pro wrestling. So, if I want to talk about it, then I will. And obviously, if people don't like it, then they don't have to watch the wrestling content. They can just watch. They can just watch the fighting content. But if you do enjoy the wrestling content, then I hope you enjoyed it. If, 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 Even if you don't like wrestling and you just enjoyed me talking about it, then thank you very much. And I will speak to you later, and thank you for the support. Have a good night. Speak to you soon. Thank you for the support. See you in a bit.